Hi guys, welcome back to Lost in My Library. Hi guys, welcome back to Lost in My Library. My name is Kate, and today I am doing my May wrap up. I know this is late, but we are going to get through this. Is the best word. So last month was Not Naturalathon, and so which was co-hosted by me. I had so much fun, and so now here's my wrap up of everything I hunted, which I read, all the likes. If you participated, you know, and if you don't know, you missed out. Okay. Anyways, so the first, I'm just gonna go in order of like the prompts, how the prompts were, because I really don't remember what order I read the books in. So the first prompt that I read was Lucifer, which is a book with stars on the cover or in the title. And for that, I read Starsight by Brandon Sanderson. This is the sequel to Skyward, also by Brandon Sanderson. I loved Skyward. Skyward was so good. And then a lot of the things that I loved about Skyward weren't necessarily in Starsight. But I did appreciate that there was a small, tight-knit new friend group of people that we followed in Starsight. It's new people. When we had this group of people that we loved from the first book that carried over into this book for like the first few chapters, and then they disappear for like the majority of the book, except for Mbot and Doomslug, and we love them, but I just want my... And then there was a random romance thrown in. What? Like, what? I was so mad. Because it's one little throwaway thing that didn't need to be there. I liked Skyward because romance wasn't a thing. Romance wasn't important for the story. And then, yeah. I was not happy when that... So, other than that, I mean, it's still a good book. I gave Starsight 4 stars. Good solid read. Okay, so next on the list is the group books that I read both of them. I'm sorry for the change of angle. I had to move. Anyways, so the next one is the group books, which were... You could choose God, or you could or Chuck, or you could choose the Winchester path, and I read both. The Chuck path was The Road's Not Taken, which is by Tim Wagner, with a really, really awful cover. I complained about this book cover for so long, and I will continue complaining about this book cover. This book cover is bad. It's really, really bad. So it's a choose your own adventure story. It's a supernatural themed choose your own adventure story. It is really good. I really enjoyed it. It has 4 stories, 4 hunts, and the ending was, oh my gosh, what? By the end, I really thought it was going to be a certain angel that was going to show up, but he didn't show up. So probably because this is set after he died and before he returned, before we knew he was alive. So in that time period, I am post that time period. But it was really confusing when this was set. We know that it's set after season 6, It has to be set after season 6 because some things that mention are happened in season 6. But the pictures and everything looks like season 5 times. Like, they can't get the illustrations of the boys are bad. Anything that's not the boys are fine. They're great. They actually look really cool. But, like, it was just so bad. The illustrator, I don't think, has ever seen the show. Nor read the book. Nor just looked at, like, pictures of the boys and was like, oh, hey, here's pictures of the boys. I'm just gonna draw this. And they made it really awful. Like, looked at a picture of them once. And then was like, alright, I'll draw this. And then draw it from memory. Drew them from memory. That's what it looks like. Is it's really bad. Like, Dean is like a whole, like, I'm gonna go. He's a whole continuity error. And then Jared doesn't look like Jared. Sam doesn't look like Sam. Like, I don't know who this Sam is. This is not our Sam. It's so bad. It's just so bad. From everything. Okay, moving on from one bad cover to the next bad cover. It's Family Don't End With Blood. It's better. And continuity-wise, it's pretty good. But, like, I mean, also, this is a non-fiction book. So, like, there doesn't need to be continuity. But Jensen's face. How did they get it that so bad? It's better. And I feel like that person had a lot more love into it. It's just that doesn't look like Jensen. Jared looks great. That looks like Jared. But you look at Jensen and you're like, what happened to Jensen? What happened to Jensen? Okay. Oh, I didn't tell you. I gave Roads Not Taken 4 stars. Anyways, it was good. Good solid book. So Family Doesn't End With Blood is a nonfiction collection of essays from fans and actors and people who've worked on the show of Supernatural and their stories and how Supernatural has impacted their lives. And I sobbed my way through it. It's such the stories are so good, and I just wanted to hug every single person that was in that book and tell them just like they are loved, and I just wanted to hug everyone. It was so good. It was just so good. I cried a lot. And there's a new book that's out, and I really want to read it. So, we're just gonna, hopefully one day I will get it. Alright, okay. So the next on the list is Banshee, and that is to read something with gold on the cover. So I reread Hunger Games by Suzanne Collins. This is the first book in her young adult dystopian novel series. The newest book just came out. I wanted to reread The Hunger Games before I went on to read A Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes. I think that's what it's called. Anyways, I gave this 4 stars. It's a reread, so. Next book is Changeling, Strong Family Ties. This is Red Pyramid. I don't currently have my copy of Red Pyramid. I'm loaning it to somebody, so. Red Pyramid is the first book in Rick Riordan's Egyptian mythology series, and I think it's such an underrated series. I love the Egyptian mythology. I think it's so underrated because this is his first series that wasn't Percy Jackson, and he had uh, obviously Heroes of Olympus as that was coming out, and I think it was at the time people didn't want to read it because it wasn't Percy Jackson, and it's so good. If you haven't read it, you need to read it. It's so good. Like later books, there's he somehow I think sneaked a polygamous relationship into his Kane Chronicles series. It's not explained one way or the other. I think yes. I'm not gonna say what it is, but I think he snuck a polygamous relationship into the Kane Chronicles. I don't know how I feel about it. Because I don't know. In the end, I was like, I don't know. Who did she end up with? Who did this person end up with? I don't know. It's not explained. This person doesn't choose in the end. So, alright. Anyways, 5 stars. Red Pyramid. So good. Read it. Next book was Jinn, which was a free read, and I read Vampire Knitting Club book 1, and I am obsessed with this cute little cozy mystery book series. It's so good. This is about a witch who in the first book comes to visit her grandmother, and her grandmother is dead as she finds out, so she takes over the knitting shop that her grandmother owned. The first book, she doesn't know if she wants to continue with it or just sell the shop. So, and it's a murder mystery. It's a cozy murder mystery. It's really cute. There's vampires, there's witches. It's so good. Read it. It's cheap, so read it. So the next book was Hellhound, Blade on the cover. So I read Sword of Summer, which is also by Rick Riordan. I give this 5 stars because I can't give Rick Riordan anything less than 5 stars, it seems. This is his Norse mythology book series. This is the first book. And as you can see, there is a blade on the cover. That is the Sword of Summer. This follows Magnus Chase, who is homeless in the first part of the book. And then, is it a spoiler? I don't know. I'm not gonna say it because it was kind of a shock when I read it. So I'm not gonna say what happens. But yeah. So there's this giant wolf on the cover, and the sword is a talking sword. His name is Jack. So I went from reading Starsight and Skyward, which has a talking ship, to having a talking sword. I loved it. I loved every second of it. 5 stars. Great book series. I'm excited to continue with it in the Riordan Long. If you don't know what the Riordan Long is, I'll link it in the description. It is my Rick Riordan read along where we read all of his mythology books. And this month you can still participate because this month we are reading the first and second books of the Percy Jackson series, which is The Lightning Thief and The Sea of Monsters. I need to announce when I'm going to do the live show soon, so keep an eye out for that. Okay. Also, I'll put my Twitter in the description when I announce what when the live show is going to be. So the next one is Reapers. Any words associated with death in the title, and I chose. Oh, I can't reach it. Okay, it's Hashtag Murder Trending, which is the first book in the, well, it's a series of spin-offs. I know the second book is a spin-off to this. Is not a really direct sequel. It says it's a sequel. I think it's just set in the same universe. I don't know. I could be wrong. So this is about a prison where their lives and their deaths are live streamed, and this is set where the main character is falsely accused of murder of her sister, and she gets put into this prison, and there's a conspiracy theory going around that a lot of the people on the island are all falsely accused. And it's all, actually the government had agreed to this and thought it was a good idea, so signed off on this. And so, one big conspiracy theory. I'm excited to read the sequel. And the third book comes out, I think, in September, so I want to read the sequel pretty soon so I can read the third book. Alright, next one is Shapeshifters, Heart in the title or on the cover. This is also another reread, but I felt this was a good book to read for Supernatural, not Natural Thought, and that is Fangirl by Rainbow Rowell. This is the story of Kath. She is a nerdy fanfiction writer who starts college. This is Levi on the cover. That's Levi. I love their relationship. Their relationship's so cute, and I want to hug them. They're so cute. She writes this fan fiction for a book series that it reminds me if Harry Potter met Supernatural. I don't think people really... A lot of people mention the Harry Potter, similarities, but nobody talks about the Supernatural, and I'm like, guys, this Wayward Son is about a road trip. The main couple, the Baz and Simon, human, non-human. Guys, I think there is supernatural elements to carry on in Wayward Son. Anyways, I love this story. It's very cute. I give it 4 stars. So we come to my last book, and that is with the prompt was zombies, and it is Book with Assassin. So I read Fates and Traitors by Jennifer Schiaverini. I still don't know how to say her last name. This is a book about John Wilkes Booth and the people in John Wilkes Booth's life. Specifically the women in his life. So we get his mother, his sister, and the woman he ended up loving, and his landlord at one point. So the landlord when he actually did the deed. So I love this. Jennifer has a new book coming out, and it's called Miss Lincoln's Sisters, and I'm very excited. I want to read that too. Very good story about. It just gives context to everything that was going on with John Wilkes Booth when he did the deed. So, 5 stars actually. Really, really good. I can't tell if that's nonfiction or if it's historical fiction, because it might be considered historical fiction just because there's not really any way of knowing if all of what happened in that book was facts, and she didn't present it as fact. It was a story being told. I think it technically falls under historical fiction. And that is all I read in May. I had a decent reading month. I had some good books. some slightly disappointing books. So, thank you guys for watching. Thanks for listening to me rant one more time about Roads Not Taken and The Family Don't End with Blood book covers, because anyways, I hope you